Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Marvelous Monday. I'm Leslie Watkins. I hope you had a great weekend. I had a really nice weekend. The weather was terrific for getting outside and gardening, and even though it's a little bit early in the season to start planting things, it's not too soon to do some cutting back and some cleanup. I got the chicken tractor ready so that Houdini could go outside, and thankfully he's out there, hopefully enjoying the being out in nature, sort of like he's gone on a camping trip. So things are good. So what did you all do this weekend? Have you started gardening? Do you have spring weather where you are that allows you to go outside? I know there's been a lot of rain. Today I'm going to do something that I think is really fun. This is my scrapbusting journal. And if you've been following along, you know that we had the scrapbusting journal workshop. That's closed now, and people are busy making their journals. But I'm beginning a series of videos showing you ways to decorate your journal. And I'm going to be using Stampin' Up! Products, both old, retired products and new products. And the idea is that we get into our stashes, find all those things that we've been holding on to and looking for the perfect place to use them, and that you'll put them in your journal. So let me just check my settings, make sure that you can hear me. And strangely, it appears that my screen is frozen, so I sure hope you can hear me. I'm gonna reload my page and see what's going on here. There we go. Okay, now I can see what's happening, and I see Julia. Well, hello. Julia's taking a break from gardening. I know that she's been very busy outside gardening and with baby chicks, so that's a lot of fun. And hi, Vicki and Nicole. How nice to see you all here. Okay, well, I guess I better get busy. So one of the things, if you're short on inspiration, one of the things that I like to do is to be inspired by paintings and art objects that I find in museums, in my books, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to share one of those with you today. So let me get this up on my screen. And Beverly's here. Awesome. Hi, Beverly. I know you've been busy with your journal, and Beverly is making a journal to give as a gift. So here's my inspiration for today. So this is a beautiful page from an illuminated manuscript, and it features some violas or Johnny Jump Ups and a dragonfly, and it's just a very simple design, and it's on a beautiful piece of vellum. So vellum is that kind of vanilla kind of background that you see the image on. I'm going to use a different background for mine, but I'm going to very loosely follow this design. So let's see. Let me see if I can. There it is. Okay, so there is my inspiration. And before we go to the book, I'm just going to gather my materials. So this is what I've collected so far. I've got the Petal Park Builder Punch, and here's the stamp set. Okay, so these coordinate with one another. What I like about this is that the 3 flowers are all together on one stamp, and they're also all together in the punch so that you can punch out a lot of things quickly. I've got the Dragonfly punch that came with Dragonfly Garden. Now I don't think Dragonfly Garden is available. It may be on the clearance rack, but the punch has carried over, so you're going to be able to get this punch going forward into the new catalog. And then I'm using the Nature's Prints bundle, and I had this for a while. It took me a while to get around to it, but now I am loving it. And one of the things I really love is this wreath die, because not only can you use it as a wreath, but you can also cut it apart, which is what I'm going to do today, and use all this wonderful foliage. So a really great set. And then I'm going to be using my favorite deckled rectangle dies, and I just love these because of my watercolor background. We love those deckled edges on our watercolor paper. So those are the things. Now I have gone ahead and I prepared a bunch of stuff, because remember, this is a scrapbusting workshop. And so I can go into my stash and I can grab things. So I've pulled out this little piece of the distressed gold paper that has the deckled edge on it. And I also have all of these die cuts that I've done using the, let me see. I want to make sure I give you the Natural Prints die set. So I've got a bunch of those. I've got the Petal Park Flowers gold heat embossed on vellum, ready to be punched out. And somewhere in here I also have a little bag of scraps from various other projects ready to go. So when I get my heat embossing tool out, or my cut and emboss machine out, I like to do extras, so I have a bunch of things ready to go at any time. So that is those are my materials. I've got my inspiration. And I'm going to begin with my deckled gold as my surface. So this is where I'm going to be applying all these different little things. And like I said, I'm not going to be doing exactly what's in the inspirational image, but I'm going to do something pretty close. So for instance, if you look at those Johnny Jump Ups, you'll see that there are 3 main, let me get these things out, 3 main flowers. So I've got 3 flowers ready to go. These were heat embossed. I think you can see the shine there. So they are heat embossed, and I cut them out of So Saffron cardstock. So Saffron is one of the colors that's going to be retiring in the new catalog. So if you don't have any So Saffron, I would really recommend that you get it. It is a beautiful, very warm, pale yellow, and there's not going to be anything like it in the new color selections. We have another new pale yellow color coming called Lemonade Lolly, I think it is, something like that, and it's a very cool yellow, so very different. So if you want to make sure that you have that warm yellow in your palette, you want to make sure that you put in an order to get that before they run out. I will have all of the things that I'm using today listed after the video in the description below. So so don't worry about writing anything down. I'll have all that ready to go for you after the video. So what I want to do is I want to create kind of a little bit of a background. So I sort of like this big leaf. And then I also want to create some foliage in the foreground, and I think I'd like to add a couple of different tones to it. So the other thing, of course, are going to be my flowers. So they're going to look something like that. So I'm gonna get out my craft sheet. This is a silicone sheet that I can use to glue things on so I don't make a big mess. And I'm going to zoom you in so that you can get a better look at what I'm doing. Ooh, not that much. Sorry. My zoom control is a powerful thing, and I can't always control it the way I'd like to. There we go. All right, so I'm going to begin with this big one. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. If you're somebody that has a big stash of leftover things that are no longer current, but you cannot bear to part with them, you're in good company here. And if you'd like to join our private Facebook group, Something Old, Something New, you're welcome. Just put a comment below, let me know who you are so I can remember who you are, and then find the Something Old, Something New Facebook group, and I will let you in. And it's there that you can share all of your wonderful ideas and inspiration and see what everybody else is doing, and it's a really great group. And we also have some creative challenges, so check that out. All right, now, so on this, in some of the previous pages that you've seen me design, I had a lot of texture, a lot of dimension. This page I want to lay flat, so I'm going to just keep the layers to a minimum, and I'm not going to be using any kind of dimensionals or curling up of the die cuts, because I want everything to just stay nice and flat so that the book, the opposite page, can be used to write on. Okay, so I'm going to put my, let's just take a quick look for placement purposes. I want to keep this kind of a vertical design, and I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to keep building. Uh-oh, I think we may have a guest visitor. I have a feeling we have a four-footed paper crafter joining us. Hello, Bracken. Yeah, he wants to sit right on top of the project. Say hello. Look up. There he is. Okay, there's Bracken, the paper crafting cat, coming to bug me. Probably he thinks it's time to eat something. So let me say goodbye. I'll catch up with you later, Brack. All right, now put this one just like so. This one down here. All right, so there is my floral arrangement. And now what I want to do is to add some foliage down at the bottom here. So these These wreath dies are really so pretty. And there are little ferns and little leaves, all sorts of goodies here. So let me find my scissors. Here they are. And I'm just going to sort of cut out the shape of a leaf. This is where your liquid glue is so great, because you can really, with a little bit of practice, you can really control where you want that glue to go. And what I like to do is I have a paper towel handy, so I can just take my die and just give it a little bit of a blotting to remove that excess glue. So there's the beginning of my base, but I want to add, I would like to add a little more, let's see, I want to add some additional green tones. So I kind of like that. But I don't need the whole thing, so I'm just going to trim off a bit. Now in just a minute I'm going to check the comments, see if anybody has any questions. And, you know, depending on what stamp sets and dies you have in your stash, I'm sure you've got plenty of leafy things that you can use for this that would be just perfect. So, so as I said earlier, check with the beautiful old paintings and see if you're not inspired to do something like that, and then go through your stash and find things that might be suitable. Now I also have one of the little dragonflies that I cut out, and I cut it out using the distressed gold paper, but I also punched it out again using vellum. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a dot of glue right in the center. Add my vellum. Just line that up. I'm going to give that a minute to dry because the vellum and the gold aren't going to absorb the glue as quickly as cardstock. So I'm just going to take that and put it aside for a minute, give that a chance to dry. And I'm also going to go into my embellishments. And I've got my champagne rhinestone basic jewels. Now I'm just looking at my foliage here, and I think what I'd like to do is just to add a little bit more sort of coming forward like that, and I probably don't need all this stem. If you're not subscribed to notes from Dandelion Cottage, I would love for you to go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com and please subscribe to notes. I'll also have that information below after the video in the description. I have some wonderful opportunities and events coming up that I think you're going to love, and I will be announcing them this week. So if you wanted to get all that information, subscribe now, because otherwise you'll miss it, and I don't want you to miss that. I've got some watercolor things coming up. I've got more scrapbusting related classes coming up, and also a special surprise, that invitation that you don't want to miss. So please subscribe to Notes from Dandelion Cottage, and you'll be able to get the invitation for all those things, and also information on how to register. All right, I think that's looking pretty good for the foliage. All right, so there's my little design so far. Now I want to check something out. Let me see. I have these Petal Park vellum flowers. I just want to see what that would look like on here. It may be too much, but you never know. I just want to take a quick look. I'm going to go ahead and punch out a couple of these things. The punches are so quick and easy to use, and I just love this Petal Park because it's so versatile because of the different sizes of the flowers. So you see, I can pick some flowers that are just about the right size here. Can vary that a little bit. I'm not so sure about that. What do you all think? I'm going to switch my screen here so I can see your comments. Oh, there's some questions. All right. Oh, Cheryl's watching from Utah. Wow. Okay. Cookie's here. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Kelly. And Cheryl says, is your green die cut the ginkgo or the maidenhair? Actually, well, Cheryl, I think it is a maidenhair, but it comes from here. It's from the Nature's Prints, and it has this beautiful stamp, and then of course the coordinating die that I used to cut that out. So I stamped it, I gave it a little bit of a sponging, and then I cut it out with the die, and it's so pretty. It's one of those stamps that already has the shading on it, so it's pretty much ready to go. But I do like to touch up the edges with the sponging because I don't like those pale edges so much. Vicky says she likes it better without the vellum. Thank you, Vicky. And Cheryl says, nah. Okay. All right. We'll save that for something else. That goes back into the stash. Very good. Now let's get our little friend here. Our little dragonfly. So I'm putting my thumb to the side of its body, and then I'm pulling, this is so tiny, I'm pulling the vellum up so that it's folded up, And even though this is a little bit of dimension, it's not going to be so much that it's going to interfere with the writing on the page. Now, in the picture, my dragonfly was over here, and so that's where I'm going to put it. So I'm just going to, in fact, you know what? I'm going to use a glue dot because I want to make sure that this sticks down really well. So there we go. Just adding my glue dot, put him right there. All right, we're almost done. I'm going to get my, I'm going to bring you out a little bit. I'm going to get my journal. So let's clear the area a little bit. So here we go. And I have this page where I actually stitched through, I don't know if you can see it, but I had a place where I accidentally stitched through. So I want to cover that up. Easy to do. Sometimes mistakes are the mothers of invention. So this little design is going to fit perfectly over that, and no one will ever remember that it's there. So there we go. It looks beautiful. I'm going to give that a little bit of a rub. Where's my bone folder? Here it is. Gotta have my bone folder always. There we go. And then finally, in the champagne rhinestones, they have these really pretty little ones that look beautiful with the gold. And I'm going to add a medium one to the back of my dragonfly, just like so. All right, so that's how the spread looks. I think it looks really nice. I have all this room over here to do something else, or I could use it blank for writing. And I want to I want to remind everybody that don't be in a hurry to cover every single page in your journal, because you may have some ideas later, or you may want to write something or add something or put a picture, whatever it may be. So it's nice to have some space to be able to come back and do that. So there it is. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I gave you some ideas. Please come and join us over in the Something Old, Something New group, where you can share your ideas and inspiration with everybody else. We'd love to see you. Subscribe to notes from Dandelion Cottage Design.com as soon as you can, because I want to make sure that you're on there in time for the upcoming announcement. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.